Hello and welcome to BloombergQuint at a time when India is looking at ease of doing business and promoting the campaign as far as Make in India is concerned, even GST coming in. We have the DIPP Secretary, Mr. Ramesh Abhishek, with us. Welcome to BloombergQuint, sir. My first question, of course, will be with GST Bill being passed, it's historic at this point of time. Do you believe it will aid the manufacturing sector and give a fillip to the Make in India campaign that the government has been promoting?
Absolutely. Passage of GST in Rajya Sabha and consequent changes that are going to come about, they are landmark developments for our economy. This will make a big difference to the way we do business here, to the growth rates, and especially for manufacturing sector is going to be a blessing because the cascading effect of taxes will be done away with. We will be a much better ease of doing business, and there will be one single market for the whole country. I think for manufacturing sector is going to be a blessing.
Right, so then coming to ease of doing business, you're already ranking the states. But are we expecting a deadline when you will get the final report? And with the World Bank, especially having the meeting recently, do you believe we are going to up our standards, especially with us going 12 places up last year?
I know last year we moved up 12 places in World Bank ease of doing business rankings. This year also their team had come and we have made very good progress on a number of parameters, and we are definitely expecting a significant improvement. Exactly how much improvement will take place, we don't know yet because it depends on their methodology, which changes every year. It also depends on how other countries are faring in this, but we are definitely expecting a lot of improvement. And more important is that many of these reforms, they take time, and a large number of reforms are in the pipeline. For example, implementation of the Insolvency Act that is slated to be completed by December, and NCLT and NCLAT have already started functioning, but going forward you will see a lot of improvement there, and they will also look after the other laws which are there. And contract enforcement, we already have commercial benches in high courts and commercial courts that will also improve as we go along. So next year, this year also we are going to see a lot of improvement, but next year I think that improvements are going to be quite dramatic.
And for the states, are we looking at a timeline?
The states, we had asked them to give all their reforms which they have given to us for the last year. We had given them time, I think, till 7th of June. By that time, whatever they might have done, there are almost 8,000 pieces of information that we have got. So what we, in many cases, we accepted. The World Bank team is there. They have accepted whatever was backed by evidence. The rest, they have asked the states to clarify certain things, and this work is going on. And I think the team is already halfway through. So I don't know the exact time, but I think it will be almost by end of August by the time they finalize. But important thing is that what we have seen so far, a large number of states have done extremely well, and they are doing very well. And ultimately, when so many states have done so well, then it's not a question of ranking only. It's a question of the business climate improving dramatically in all these states and the country. So I think the purpose of ranking was only to spur this kind of competition. So I think this whole thing has been very successful, and we can look forward to a much better business-friendly climate in the states also, in addition to the center, in the coming years.
Right, so taking forward the business-friendly climate, a host of sectors were opened up as far as FDI is concerned. Are we looking at more sectors getting opened up, and any specific sectors that you're looking at maximum FDI garnering?
See, we have done a number of reforms very recently, as you mentioned. And reforms are a very continuous process. They are done from time to time, depending on the stakeholder consultations that we do, the feedback that we get, etc. So this is a continuous process, and we will continue to do that. We have seen a lot of FDI interest. As you know, we had $55 billion of FDI coming in last financial year, which is the highest ever, $40 billion of net foreign equity inflow. And this year, we definitely hope that should be even more. And equally important than the reforms are also the procedural reforms. As you know, 92% of FDI is coming from the automatic route. And with the latest round of reforms, we are hoping that this percentage will only go up. And in terms of opening an office, etc., also we have simplified the processes. So I think there's a lot of investor interest, and foreign investors are looking at India with a renewed enthusiasm. With GST coming in, I think the interest will only multiply.
Any specific sectors that you're expecting more FDIs?
See, we have seen in manufacturing, we have seen automobile sector has been one of the very prime areas. In electronics manufacturing has been an important area. Pharmaceuticals also, there is a lot of interest. E-commerce also, we have seen a lot of interest. And food processing, we are hoping that now that we have allowed 100% FDI under the approval route in food retail, I think there will be a lot of interest in that also, because the opportunities in all these sectors are enormous.
Right, so coming to local sourcing norms, that is something where everybody went gaga over Apple applying, but I just wanted to understand, like companies which are like Apple, are there more companies which have approached the DIPP after whatever clarification was given? And also, if you could clarify, what is the 30% local sourcing norm?
See, the local sourcing norm of 30% has been there for some time. The change that was done recently was that if you have a state of art technology as certified by the concerned ministry department, and we have a committee here, you can be exempted from those norms for 3 years. But after 3 years, you have to stick to those norms. And this principle is for others also, that for first 5 years, you don't have to do 30% every year. You have to do an average of 30% over first 5 years. And after 5 years, you have to do 30% every year. That is for everyone, whether you have state of art or not. If you have a single brand retail approval, then you can do 30% average first 5 years, and then 30% every year. For state of art, it is first 3 years you are exempt from the local sourcing completely, because it is expected that since you are state of art, you may not be able to source locally for some time. But we have said that you should be able to do that ultimately.
My last question here will be that though a lot of sectors have been opened up, defense is something which has not got that kind of investment that government has been looking at. IPR norms also, recently in April you were quoted saying that India is not filing, Indian companies are not filing that many patent applications. Do you see these two moving ahead going forward?
See, defense manufacturing, as we know, now we have a much more liberalized FDI regime in defense manufacturing. But the thing is, people will set up facilities for manufacturing if we get some orders. And the defense procurement process is fairly lengthy and complex. So once people get some orders, they will be able to start manufacturing facilities. So FDI will come only when people get some orders.
And the fact that as far as packages for domestic sector, especially like leather, which has already been given, are we looking at more domestic packages?
See, the government is very keen that in those sectors, like garments and leather, etc., where there is a lot of job creation, because employment generation is a very important priority of the government. Those sectors should be promoted and incentivized. So in that perspective, we already have an integrated leather development program. So we are looking at how we can energize that program, put more money there, so that also make other decisions which make this industry more competitive. So leather and footwear, both leather and non-leather footwear, they have huge employment potential. We employ more than 3 million people right now, but we can employ much larger number in the coming few years if we give the right incentives. So that is something that we are trying to do.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to Bloomberg Quint.
Okay, thank you.